Hi everyone, my name is Shannon and welcome to King Family Farm. And tonight my husband has requested beef stroganoff with homemade noodles. So I'm going to make some homemade noodles and I thought I would show you how to do that. This is just a basic pasta recipe and I've kind of cut it in half because I don't really want to end up with a whole bunch of it. And it's just the two of us. So I'm going to do this really quick. We have a bunch of our homegrown eggs, and these are little tiny eggs because we've got some new layers, and so that's why they're kind of small. We're going to end up using a few more eggs because they're smaller. So we've got those. I've got half a pound of flour, and I'm just going to dump that in. And these yolks, I separated the eggs. I don't want them to tip out of the bowl. So I've separated the eggs. I've got 5 egg yolks in here. I'm going to stick them in. If I need more, I'll do more. And I don't know, a tablespoon of olive oil. It's good olive oil. Ooh, I like that one. It's a new olive oil for me. I haven't purchased that one before, and I've spilled it on the counter. So this is my KitchenAid, and I really like to use this. And I'm trying to get this so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's as far as I can go with the power cord. That's it. And I'm going to use the dough hook. They tell you to start with the paddle attachment and then move on to the dough hook. You add more dishes. No time for that. So, and I'm just going to turn this on. Scrape a little bit, and I'm sorry if it's really noisy. It is a fairly noisy machine. So, but I really like this. This is an older one. I've probably had this about 15 years. And I think I'm going to need more in here. Yeah. I'm going to need a couple more. These eggs are so small, and I'm used to bigger eggs. So I'm trying to get this done before I completely lose the light and you guys can't see anything, but I think I'm kind of at that point. It's just after 5, and there's just no daylight left. So the other thing I'm checking here on these eggs is to see if they're fertilized, and most of them are, which means my rooster's doing his job. So I can't wait till these are a bigger size in the spring, and then I can start hatching them. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of water. All right, we don't want to add too much. This is not an exact recipe. So we've used the equivalent of about 5 large egg yolks. I didn't put any whites in here. I put about 2 tablespoons of water, half pound of flour, and about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And this is I've probably mixed it for about 5 minutes. And this is the texture that it's at. It's really stretchy. It's really nice and soft. So I'm just gonna give it a quick knead on the counter. And yeah. See if I can move things so you can, there we go. So we're just going to give it a quick knead, and we're going to put it in a ball, and I'm going to wrap it in plastic wrap, and we're going to let it rest about 10-15 minutes. Yeah, this is perfect. Nice and smooth. You can see it's just really nice and smooth. So it's been about 20 minutes. I've cleaned up the area. Actually, it hasn't quite been that long. It's been about 15. The pasta has rested, and it's nice and soft now. Because what happens when you mix it up is the gluten develops, and when you try and roll that out, it just contracts right back up. So I fried a few of the mushrooms, and I've set a pot of water on to boil so I can show you what this looks like when it's cooked. And these cook really fast. So I'll just cook a few noodles so you can see it. And I'm not going to roll out a whole bunch. You don't, I like to cut my pasta with this small pizza wheel. I picked this up at like a yard sale or something. It's great. So if all you have is a knife, use a knife. Or if you've got a pizza cutter, use a pizza cutter. You want to keep your pasta wrapped up while you're unrolling or rolling the other stuff. Nice floured surface. And we're gonna aim for a square-ish shape so that I can have square noodles. This is a marble rolling pin. I'm gonna just put some flour on it, and then I'm gonna flip that, and you can already see it's trying to retract on me. You want to get this fairly thin. I mean, you don't want to see through it, but think of the thickness of regular pasta. And of course, this is going to have a fairly heavy meat sauce on it. So if it's too thin or too fine, it'll collapse and the noodles won't be as robust. So now, I really like rolling pasta on this surface, which is why my dad is in the process of making me wood countertops for the island here. The rest of my kitchen will probably have stainless steel or stone. I haven't decided. But what's nice about it is you get this texture to the pasta. So when you're making like a meat sauce or something like that, the texture helps that sauce stick to the pasta itself. So this is quite thin. I think I'm going to just try and get it just a little bit right on the edge there. It's not as thin as it could be, but you want to keep it well floured or it's going to stick together. I'm just going to, there we go. It's okay if they're not exactly equal and perfect, because these are handmade noodles, and I promise you they're worth it. They're worth the work. They're so good. All right, so put that back on there before it starts rolling. So I don't like them too long, so I'm going to cut this in half. You know what? I'm going to do that length of noodle. So I'm just going to flour in between so these layers don't stick together. I'm going to put them on top of each other, fairly close, and I'm going to do probably like about a ½ noodle. You want to keep them as equal as you can, simply because you want them to cook at the same time. So, but what we're looking for is a rustic noodle, and that's what this is. So, see, these have stuck together a bit on me. So, lots of flour helps this stuff not stick together. You can cut these ahead of time and just mix them in lots of flour, let them sit, and there we go. Keep them separate. Let them sit. It's okay if they dry a little bit, and then cook them right before you want to serve supper, because there we go. And that's it. It's that easy. So, and so what I'll do is that water just came to a boil, so I'm going to move the camera so you can see. I'm going to put them in some water and just cook them, and you'll be able to see what that looks like. And I'm going to taste some noodles before my husband gets home with a little bit of butter. Okay, so our water is boiling. We're going to salt it. I like to salt it fairly liberally, and it's going to foam right up. Give that just a quick stir because I don't like the salt to sit on the bottom. And then we're just going to take our fantastic pasta that we just made, and it's got a bit of extra flour on it. I'm just going to shake some of that excess off. Sorry, I picked up a bunch of flour there. So we're going to take this and we're just going to put this in the water, and I like to stir just a little bit so that they don't stick together. And once the pasta floats, it's ready. And you can see, I don't think you can see that. Now, here we go. Let's try this. There it is. So the pasta is already floating. The water's coming back to a boil. And I just want to give it a little bit of a stir. And you don't want to overcook this because then it gets really mushy. But this stuff really cooks fast. So it's floating. It's done. So I'm just going to scoop this out with a strainer because I'm going to use this water again. There we go, I got all of it. And that's it, guys. It's really, really easy. It doesn't really need anything fancy on it. I'll eat them just like this. It's al dente. It's perfect. So, can't wait to have those with stroganoff. So, thanks for joining me here on the farm, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time.